Loading up. Hey guys, this is Brandon. I'm here with Justin and Penelope from Farpoint Toys.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
So I figured I'd start off just by having you guys introduce yourselves and kind of how you guys got started.
Well, I'm Penelope, and
I'm Justin. We are a husband and wife team.
how did we get started?
Us personally together?
You want to go back to Sicily, 1820?
One of the first things we connected on was like our love of pop culture and nerddom. And I had just started getting back into collecting action figures because in the early 2000s, McFarlane was putting out some amazing, statue-like toys. If you're familiar with like the later Spawn lines and like,
Yeah.
The movie Maniacs and the stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. And I bought a few of those.
Yeah, and I kind of never stopped collecting stuff. When I was really young, a lot of my stuff got put in storage, and I was lucky enough to be able to get it back as a young adult, and it was all still in really good shape. And I had a lot of really good nostalgic feelings about it, so I kind of kept it around. And I'm also just a collector in general. I collect all kinds of stuff, not just toy related. We're both kind of nerdy and kind of pop culture-y. But Farpoint just kind of blossomed from our own collecting.
Yeah, we would enable each other. Like we would go out, and eventually, like the house was covered
Nice.
with like McFarlane figures, and like it expanded from there to other movie lines. And Penelope was collecting. You know, she still had her childhood stuff, like she says, but she had been buying anything she liked. But we really ramped up with me personally was in 2007. The G.I. Joe 25th anniversary line hit, and that clicked every button for me about nostalgia, about the toys I grew up with. I fell instantly in love with the line and went bonkers with it. And
that's a very conservative word, bonkers. Can I cuss on here, Brandon? Is that okay?
I guess light, just no F words. I guess.
Yeah,
you kind of.
have it for kids.
Yeah. So he went. All right, I'll keep it nice. He went more than bonkers. He went a little crazy.
So
he went bat S word crazy.
Yes. Effing crazy.
Okay.
Ape S word crazy is what I was gonna say.
Okay.
But in the best possible way. I mean, it's not like there are way worse things that you could be spending your money on than plastic.
Well, that's what we tell ourselves. But like I said, we enabled.
Yeah.
We enabled.
That's what I tell myself too all the time.
Yeah. So how that turned into the business is we were both actively collecting, and just like this probably happens with a lot of people. I know it happens, with. I hate the analogy, but drug dealers.
We started getting high on our own supply.
You get a little taste.
Yeah. So exactly. So we would end up with too much.
Yeah.
I would be buying, collections and only keeping what I wanted. And what do I do with the stuff that I don't want?
Yeah. And at the time, my main collection was probably like My Little Pony, vintage My Little Pony. And, they're small. So you get lots of 10 or 12 or 20. Yeah. I only need 3 or 4 or 5 of them. What do I do with all the extras? Well, I trade them to other people, sell them to then rebuy other stuff for my collection.
So you had started small online, and we never sat down and said, hey, let's become a toy dealer. Let's be toy business. It was just a side thing that opportunities happened down the road where we met. I was working in a record store, and I was so into toys. The guy who owned the record store said, hey, man, you're really into these toys. You want to rent a small section of the record store and sell some toys out of it. And we talked about it and said, that's kind of cool. And she came up with the name of the store, and it kind of snowballed from that little spot in a record store to, eventually
10 years. This year's our 10-year anniversary. Yeah. We're coming up on 10 years.
Oh, okay.
It's 10 years. It's been a snowball, like he said, a pebble, falling down a hill.
Avalanche.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice. I like it. Yeah, I found you guys out through comic trips. And I was like, ever since then, I was like, I need to get down there. It's like I used to live not that far. Like I used to live maybe like 2-hour drive. And now I'm like, crap. Now I live like a plane ride and a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, you're not close.
But yeah.
Comic Trips was great. I mean, they shined the light on a lot of really cool, we're all in the same circle.
Yeah. A lot of indie shops, especially local indie shops, obviously.
And for some reason on the East Coast, there's just an abundance of toy and comic and
especially
shops.
In our area. We're in South Jersey, and we can name literally 6 or 7 stores within a stone's throw of us, basically.
Yeah.
And what's great is that we all, we're all a community. We all work off each other, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
We don't openly
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you guys are cutthroat or like trying to shut
Not
each
in
other down.
public.
You guys are just like, why do that when we can have, yeah.
No, we all understand, we're all trying to get by doing the same thing, and we all suffer the same from the same things. We all get annoyed by the same things, and we're all the same people. So it's really hard to like talk down on somebody who else is doing the exact same thing you are. You know,
totally. And
we get jealous sometimes when people get better collections.
Oh yeah,
but
always.
That's cyclical too.
But I mean, it's also really good the way we work off each other. If I don't have a product somebody's looking for, there's literally 5 or 6 other people I can call and say, hey, you have this. My guy needs it. And we want to get stuff in the hands of collectors and people that will love it. Whether or not I have the stuff or someone else has the stuff, we want that person to get the stuff. So it works out.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And why not? It keeps customers coming back to you because it's like, hey, they were nice enough to help me get this piece. I'll buy another thing from them if they have it.
100% correct. 100%. And that's how, so we had a mentor, one of my best friends, Frank, he had a store maybe a half hour from us when we had opened in the mall. When we decided to really do a brick and mortar, a real store, we had been going to his store as collectors. So we opened and he came in and said, oh, you're opening a store, huh? I should have went to him like the Godfather and said,
yeah, right. Hat in hand.
You have our blessing to open this store. But we didn't. I just kind of opened. And he came in and he looked around and saw we weren't really a threat. Because let me tell you something. He had a store called It's a Toy Store. And it was probably the best store of our kind I've ever been to. And we've been to a lot of stores.
Far. So that's our mailman. Pay no attention.
So, pay no attention to the mailman.
He's very important to what we do. So he eventually became such a good friend that we were buying collections together. We would and we would send, like you said, we would send people back and forth.
Absolutely.
So when a big collection would come in that maybe I couldn't handle or he couldn't handle or didn't want to handle, it was so much stuff, we'd go buy it together. Well, fast forward, he didn't want to be in business alone anymore. We didn't want to be in the mall anymore. So we found a building. He kind of semi-retired and invested with us, as part of Farpoint. And, how did I bring that up? Like,
I don't even remember where you were to get to here.
So that's how close the community is with all of us dealers.
We were so close to Frank, we ended up going in business with him instead of cutthroat competition or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And that people need to look up that commercial that you guys shot for your store.
Oh gosh.
That's one of the best commercials.
Drop the link in the comments.
Chef's kiss right there. Yeah. Drop the link in the comments and I'll try to put it on the description.
The father of the star, because the star of that commercial is the little girl in the other than the cars, the little girl in the Wonder Woman outfit, Lucy. Her dad actually just walked. That was who just walked in, was her dad. Who's one of my oldest friends.
Oh, nice.
We had no idea how that commercial was going to end up and how amazing it was going to be.
Yeah, it really went from this tiny idea that Justin had about, just this little kind of a script and maybe 1 car or 2 cars and like 5 or 6 people into 8 or 9 movie cars.
Yeah.
Cosplayers. Dozens of cosplayers. Yeah. Brian O'Halloran, the star of Clerks.
We were just kind of making it up as we went along.
Yeah.
And more people got involved as we went along because we have such a great community here. Serving as the foundation of what we do. Like, I hate to say customers. Everybody really comes around here is really just part of the community that helps keep this thing going.
We don't have fans. We don't have customers. We just have part of the extended Farpoint family. And that sounds cheesy, but it's true.
Nice. But I feel like that's like in the collecting community, that's kind of everyone, for the most part, people feel like they're a part of something bigger than just like, hey, I want this. Like if I'm out, I'll see something. I'll be like, hey, my friend, I'll like message my friend. I'll be like, hey, I'll take a picture of it. Pick this up. If you could to this store, like this is what you've been looking for, or I'll like really grab it for a friend.
Some of the action figure groups. When you could post in a group like, oh, I've really been looking for that figure. And people are like trying, and we don't do this. There's scalpers on eBay that find every figure and buy them and try and triple their money or retire with one Marvel legend. But there's always the good guy who goes out and finds them at cost for other collectors. And that we love that aspect of the community. I hate the aspect of the community of the guy that needs one Walgreens Silver Surfer and buys everyone he sees and tries to sell them on eBay. I'm not a fan of that because that's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of taking.
You see the guy in the line with like 6 or 7 figures of the same one.
You know, we don't do that as a brick and mortar store. We're collectors first.
Yeah.
So, you know, that puts a bad taste in collectors' mouths.
Yeah, it's not a good business model.
No.
In our
Yeah.
case.
There's a lot of part-timers out there, but what can you do?
So what is the rarest piece in both of your opinions? Because you might have different opinions. What's the rarest piece that you've seen come in? And I think I know what it is because I think I've seen it on your Instagram. But
so are we talking specifically toy-wise, right? Not comic-wise?
No, toy or comics overall. Toys or comics.
Well, the rarest. I mean, we have some comic art, like you know, and that's one of one, like an entire page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's when you went about rarity. We have things that are worth more, but rare-wise, we have some art that is actual comic pages. Like we have a
Conan splash page.
Yeah.
Is that Gil Kane?
I think it's a Gil Kane splash page from a Conan book.
We have
Strange Tales page.
We have a Strange Tales page.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty rare because, like you said, they're one of one. You know, they were not mass produced. Someone literally sat there and drew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would count as the rarest then if they're one of one or it's like a prototype or something.
Yes,
you know.
That's rare.
Now,
as rare as like as far as produced stuff, we've had Vinyl Cape Jawas. We've had like oh my god, so the GI Joe Missile Command in a box,
still unpunched, still
nice.
In a box. That was pretty rare.
Man, you got to remind us. I mean, you know.
I think. Did I see? Did you guys have a Detective 27?
Oh, yeah,
was that? Yeah, you guys.
So we have what's called between the three of us.
Yeah, us and Frank.
We have like our 401k personal stuff that we put away.
Yeah.
So between us and Frank, that Detective 27 is Frank's.
Yeah.
But between the three of us, we have some comics. Really, is what we can't save money. Every time a collection comes in, we have to buy it because it's not like we can order vintage Star Wars from, you know, a vendor. So we're always cash poor because we're always buying, but we put away the stuff we like. And we put away a lot of comics, and we get Detective 27. There's a Batman 1, Hulk #1. There's an Avengers 1.
Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah, there's a fantasy. Between the three of us, there's some serious comic books that we split amongst ourselves.
Yeah, and that stuff, you know, goes under the bed in the vault.
Yeah, that's not. That only comes out to the store when we have like, hey, look at us when we're having like an event, like, you know, our comic book, our toy show, our free toy show. It's a toy show. When we have like a big event, we like putting that stuff out because we love the museum aspect.
Yeah, and we kind of have 3 layers of stuff. We have our own stuff that's, you know, under the bed. I hope we didn't lose you. Did we lose you? I'm gonna keep talking.
Okay.
We have the stuff we keep under our bed that's ours. We have the museum stuff in the store, which is like complete collections of stuff. People can come in and actually take a look at around in the store. And then we have stuff that's for sale in the store, just like regular stock and whatnot.
I think that's one thing we do different than all the other stores we mentioned is we do a museum aspect thing where we complete collections and put them on display. That way, people who come here with their collector husband or wife or kids have something to like appreciate other than just coming in to buy what they're looking for. You can actually come in and just kind of walk around and take a trip down memory lane, you know, to the toys you played with and collected as a kid.
And it looks like Brandon might.
I think we lost Brandon. Are we still on?
Is it just us? Yeah, we're still here.
So we lost our host. I don't know how.
Yeah. So it's now the Justin and Penelope hour here, I guess.
So hopefully, if anybody tuned in, again, I'm Justin. This is Penelope from Farpoint Toys.
It looks like Kieran is watching.
Cool. We're from Mays Landing, New Jersey. Right now, we're dealing with the whole quarantine thing. So our doors aren't open to the public, unfortunately. This is a great way to we're opening our doors to you guys watching this since we can't open legally. We're not a
essential
business right now.
I mean, from a medical standpoint, I certainly understand that. From a financial standpoint, I feel like being open is.
Sorry, my internet shut down.
Yeah,
but that's probably
I had to
about it.
hotspot it.
You're back. We thought we.
Sorry about that.
We kept it going.
Yeah, we did. We did for a second. Sorry guys, my internet had cut out for a second, but I'm back.
All right. You can just wind me up, and I'll just keep talking and talking and talking.
We don't even.
No, that's fine.
We weren't lost.
All right. But you guys are still doing online sales and
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we're doing our best,
and stuff like eBay stuff and
We have an online store on eBay, but we tend to not put the good stuff up there, if that makes sense. We like to keep the good stuff in the store so that people have a reason to come and visit and to experience the Farpoint experience, if that makes any sense. But what we've been doing since we've been closed, we've been doing like live sales where we're actually like touring the store, bringing Farpoint to you guys in your living rooms, whether you've ever been here or not.
So every Sunday, we decided, since we were forced to shut down, well, what are we going to do to bring the store to people since people can't come to the store?
Yeah.
So we started doing claim sales. And if you're familiar with the way they work on Facebook, is, you pull on an item. Now, it's typically, and I hate to say this, it's typically a fat, bearded white dude with a G.I. Joe and no personality and Doritos in his beard. And he's like, I got G.I. Joe with a straight arm zap. And it's just, I can't even stand watching it. So I never wanted to do the claim sales because I resemble that too much.
Yeah, when we started, we didn't even know exactly how to do a claim sale, because
we're learning as we go.
I personally couldn't, and no offense to folks who do them, including us, I couldn't stand even looking at,
I know. I turned them off immediately.
Doing them.
So we're doing our best to make it fun, which is part of the that's part of the what you get when you come to the store. The experience of the store. So we're trying to bring that experience onto the claim sales, and they ended up being pretty fun. So we've done video games a bunch. We do it every Sunday at 3:00. It's called Barter Town because it has a
post-apocalypse Mad Max.
That's a Mad Max.
Nice. I like that.
From Thunderdome.
But
oh man, so I've seen that page. I think I'm part of that page.
Yeah.
The Barter Town. We're doing our best. If we survive this quarantine thing, we're going to be stronger on the other end because we're learning. We're putting new tools in our toolbox, if that makes any sense. We're learning new ways of getting ourselves out there to people and hopefully keep paying some bills, which is really what we want to do. We're not trying to retire to South America. We just want to keep the lights on.
Yeah, exactly. But I think with the internet, that's really helped these smaller businesses to be able to survive or somewhat.
We're blessed with a great community online and here in the store. So the fact, even if people aren't tuning in, they're sharing it into groups. We've done video games the last 3 weeks, and we had people that had never even heard of us sharing it in their groups, and people that didn't even know where we were located or who we were.
We've had more likes and more attention in the past month than we did in the past 7 years.
Oh wow.
Slightly, but I mean, we've almost doubled our likes on the page, which we don't pay for likes. We're not one of those stores. It's all organic.
Yeah.
Because we want them to be real people who really interact with us in the page. So the fact that we've gotten like 2,000 likes in the past, almost 2,000 likes in the past month.
Yeah, we've been closed.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We've been closed a month today.
So transitioning that into some sort of revenue would be fantastic.
Yeah.
If everyone who liked our page,
but
just give us
everyone check out their link. Their website is connected to their Facebook page.
Yeah.
So check out Farpoint Toys and Collectibles.
Our IT department takes care of all that.
Yeah.
That's me.
IT, there you go.
Heavy lifting.
Yes.
All right, you're the muscles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's stronger than I am.
You're the perceived muscle.
Yeah.
So for each of you, what is your favorite lines currently to collect?
Currently.
Like not like current lines, but did you guys have you jumped into like the vintage Star Wars or like Masters of the Universe or?
That's how the museum started. To be honest with you, the reason we do museum displays and complete collections is because they were our complete collections. We want to show them to people, and it makes the store that much cooler. So yeah, we have a complete Star Wars vintage Kenner collection. I'm still trying to finish. I'm like 3 figures away personally from my LJN Dungeons and Dragons.
He says his, but it's
nice. I've been piecing together those two. I have like a couple of the footman, like the 2-packs, and then I have a mint on card Calic.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
and
the wizard, right?
I was like, oh, it's my prize. Yeah, the evil wizard. Yeah,
I'm only doing loose complete, in good shape because I like the way it displays loose complete, and I don't have the room for any like mint on card collections. You know, it takes up
Okay.
so much room for an MOC collection if you think about it.
Yeah.
Especially if you do like us and you have multiple collections of things.
If we collected one
Yes,
thing
exactly.
that was humanly possible for either of us to do, we could go all out like that.
The only like cool thing we have as a mint on card collection is the Star Wars 12 backs. We have all the
nice.
Star Wars 12 packs mint on card, because if they're not on a card, it doesn't matter if they're a 12 back or not.
They're here in the store. In the
that's part of the museum.
It's like the Hasbro mailaways, where it's like you don't know if it's a regular Hogan or the one unless it's in the little packaging.
Yeah, you have a bag. I guess you could feel it.
Yeah. My main collections, like what I mainly collect, G1 My Little Ponies. My collection is maybe a little more than half complete. I have some of the hard stuff. There's a few pieces that are really hard to get. I still don't have.
No Rapunzel yet.
No, I don't have a Rapunzel yet.
You have Mimic though.
I have a Mimic. I have a Hollywood.
Oh, and I almost have.
He's getting so deep.
I'm very close to a complete vintage from '82 to '94 GI Joe figure master collection. I'm probably 20 figures away. Wow. It's really hard as a dealer to go pay collector prices, because usually the stuff comes to us and I kind of, I buy I still do it. I buy a collection. I still keep the one or two things I need. Yeah. And that's how I put the collection. That's how we put the Star Wars collection together.
Yeah. What else? I collect lunch boxes. Just, anything I would have had as a kid. So 80s, 90s lunch boxes.
She collects collections.
And my big thing now that I'm collecting seriously is vintage D&D books.
Oh, yeah.
Modules. That's first editions, early second edition. Books, modules,
so someday,
and peripheral stuff.
Between the figures I'm collecting and the books she's collecting, the D&D, like wherever we're going to do some sort of D&D museum display is going to be amazing. I can't wait to.
I'll have to check. I have a couple friends that are in my Friday night group that collect too, and there's a couple of them have too much stuff, and if they're getting rid of them, I'll send them your way, because they have a lot of first, second, third edition stuff.
And that stuff will go to a good home. Me.
Yes. And also, though, one of the admins of the Toy Posse group, the national group, Patrick Patterson, has a crap ton of D&D LJN stuff loose and on card. Oh. So message him, Justin, and you could probably get what you're missing.
Okay. I'm very close. I just need a couple of those weird shield shooters. Yeah. The second series guys that, they're the same guys as the first series, but they're shield shooters. I think I need the shield shooter, not to get too into it.
Make a list.
Get into it as much as you want. This is Ogre what everyone's here for.
The shield shooter has different colors. He has variant colors. I need some weapons of his. And who's the little I forget his name.
Justin's want list will be in the comments below.
Yeah.
You know when you get close to completing something, how good that feels, and you're like, oh my god, it's almost there.
But it's bittersweet, because then it's like the hunt is over almost.
Oh, I'll find something else to collect.
Oh yeah, it's cyclical, man. As soon as we finish,
it's just on to the next one.
Yeah.
So, kind of the last question, because you kind of answered the things. There's certain things that you guys take from when you buy a big collection or something comes in and you're like, hey, I'm going to keep that for my collection. But the last question is, for each of you, what are your top 5 pieces of in your personal collection? Like, as in, these are like either ones that I'm not ever getting rid of, like the top of the top. Like, if there's a fire, you're grabbing these 5 things.
Wow. But you have to answer that first, because you have childhood stuff.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying. I still have my original My Little Pony collection from when I was a little girl. So that, I mean, if you want to get nostalgic versus like newer stuff that I started collecting later.
Yeah, exactly.
My toys from when I was a little girl would be first. I have maybe 12 or so My Little Ponies. I have a doll that my mother made me when I was like 3. So like the tears are going to start coming out.
Yeah, but that's
that's my.
That's one thing about toys and toy collections. Almost everything's replaceable. It's just about the money. When you get down to like risking your life to grabbing something out of a fire, not to get too deep, everything is replaceable. The stuff that's not replaceable is what you would want to go grab. So I understand why you're saying that.
But now from a totally like non-nostalgic, personal nostalgia, historic kind of standpoint, the sort of newer stuff that I've collected over the years in my collection, I think one of my number one things for my birthday a year or two ago, Justin got me a very rare Dungeons and Dragons TSR belt buckle that came out in the very early 80s. It's beautiful. It's brass. There's certain variants that were only available
that
to
would melt in the fire too.
Yeah, it would melt in the fire. Thank you. There are certain variants that were only available to employees of TSR, and then other versions. I have the more common version, but it's still not common. They only made a handful.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of my top.
So I if we're talking about home or store, because at home I play guitar as well. I've been playing guitar for 30 years. The first thing I would grab is probably my 1972 Gibson SG Deluxe. I've had it since '96. Every solo I've ever recorded on a record has been with that guitar. I've toured. I've brought it in many places around the world.
We're taking this to a place.
But it is a collection. I mean, that's part of a collection.
True.
Hey, yeah, it counts.
He certainly collects guitars.
I mean, people collect vinyl, people collect CDs and cassette tapes. So this guitar totally counts.
That guitar would be the first thing out of the house. But here in the store, if the fire ever set, and for some reason we didn't have insurance, I would grab the 12 backs, because that's probably a $25,000 collection. They're all graded 12 backs, and it's only 12 things. So it's like, done, grab them.
Only 12 things.
Yeah.
Oh, and our comics, our Hulk #1, that's a $9,000 comic book. If we're just talking about pure money, the comics, because they're easy to grab, and
they're made of paper.
There's a pile at home of comic books that is, it's a couple years income if I had to go there.
Here in the store, we have one of my favorite things is a Palatoy Death Star.
Oh, and that would go. It's cardboard.
It's made of cardboard, so it would go up really fast. I'm sure you guys know what that is. Over in Europe and in Canada, the Death Star playset they got was made of that chipboard, and it was so much cooler than the one we got here in the States. The detail was amazing. The version we have here in the store was the French Canadian version. It has French words on it, which is extra cool.
Nice.
And again, cardboard, so it would go right up in flames.
So now,
so you gotta throw a trash bag over it or something. Just
you got me thinking, if there's a fire in the store now, my heart's like palpitating because
let's
I don't know how we have tried so hard to make this place cool, and like with displays, and I just looking around at all the work involved in this store. I don't know if we would restart so don't ever, you're an enemy, don't firebomb.
This conversation got real dark.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's all good. We're all over the place. But that's good. Those things, definitely the comic books. Like if I had a Detective Comic 27, I'd be like, that's on the top of my list.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, there's only one comic ahead of that comimic that is more
action, right?
Action, exactly. So
I'm not even I don't like Superman. My girlfriend really likes Superman. I'm not a Superman fan.
Yeah, the only reason I would want that comic is because of what it is. It's the beginning of superheroes.
Yeah,
really.
It's history. Yeah.
But I'd rather have a detective. I mean, the action's worth more generally, but I'd rather have that detective.
I think even just the cover.
Yeah, Batman's so much cooler. For so many reasons.
I mean, they give him gruff for being like just a human fighting superpowered people, but Iron Man just is an iron suit.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't Batman rarely uses an iron suit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Batman's really, it's all about his wits. I mean, if you really want to get into Batman, it's not about his money or anything like that. He is a master planner. He has fail safes for every contingency. He could take out the entire Justice League.
I do think that
and he did technically.
And he did, yes. He did. Yeah.
That was Ra's al Ghul, but still, it was using Batman.
The money helps.
I think him being a bazillionaire probably helps. That's his superpower. He's
Ra's
super rich.
Batman's plans, right?
Yeah, right. So longtime friend Kieran Ball is asking, did you guys see the Dungeons and Dragons film starring Tom Hanks? Said he did it before Bosom Buddies.
He's referring to Mazes and Monsters, and believe it or not, we have it downloaded.
Oh, that's from the 80s, right?
Yeah, it was during the Satanic Panic when everybody was playing D&D, not to play the game, but to sacrifice their friends to Satan, the Dark Lord.
I grew up in those times.
We've never actually seen it.
Where I grew up in those times where people thought that heavy metal and Dungeons and Dragons truly led to devil worship.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents were like, "Why are you listening to Motley Crue?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't get it at all.
My mom was pretty cool with us, my sister and I. She's a little older than me, playing D&D. The only time she ever got a little weirded out is there was like a Steve Jackson Games Demonology, and when that came in the house, she said, "No, I'm a good Catholic mother. Get that out of here."
Yeah.
But other than that, she was cool. Dragons were fine, swords and stuff were fine,
Yeah.
but demons were one step over the line.
Yeah. I like how people were so like, oh, it's like worshiping devils and stuff, and it's like you're literally fighting devils. As like if you're a paladin, you're basically like a good guy.
Well, there was like all kinds, just like with heavy metal, there was things attributed to the suicides and murders,
college and students disappearing in
just like with the way they blame violent behavior on video games these days.
Yeah,
there's always a scapegoat for kids acting like jackasses and parents not being good parents. That's what it really is. Yeah. It's an excuse for parents to not be good parents.
Yeah, it's like, well, how did they get the game in the first place? You bought it for them, like. But so Justin, do you play D&D or just Penelope?
We play regularly.
Well, we did before.
Yeah, before the quarantine, we had a regular week game going on.
My sister and I co-DM a second edition.
Yeah, we're old school. We still play second edition.
Well, I have all the books, and I refuse to buy any books, and that's really why I have a collection.
Her extensive library. It would be so ridiculous if we started playing 5th edition.
Nice.
With the library she already has, and I know 5th is way easier. Second's, you got to know there's a lot of different dice rolls in second.
Ugh, I kind of want to go back to playing second edition, and then it's like my brain's too used to 5th edition. I don't know if I could go back. It'd take me a while.
It is.
But thank God we have Penelope and her sister are both old school, and then we have another friend, Lenny. Hopefully you're watching. Who is a encyclopedia. He knows all the rules. He knows all the throws. So he helps out the newbies. And I'm kind of not a newbie, but I'm not as old school as them because I didn't play as much. I played back in the day, but I haven't been playing consistently. That's for certain.
And what's cool about Lenny is that he actually plays a 1st edition game as well. Yeah. So he's got it's old school.
Oh, I can't do. I keep your 1st edition. I do not have any inkling to play that.
Got dice. The chits were before dice were.
Is 1st edition just 6-sided all?
No.
There's 20 with first.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Oh wait, Kieran also said Batman carried a handgun. Yeah, but people don't remember that anymore, so it doesn't count.
Batman used to have a dash in it, didn't it? Wasn't it?
Dark Knight Returns, he had a rifle.
Yes, exactly. And that Frank Miller story is one of the best Batman stories there is.
Classic.
But yeah, D&D. Like, what kind of characters you guys playing?
Oh well, right now.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Right now, I'm playing a dwarf bard. I know that's odd, but he
nice. Hey, I have a half orc bard.
that's odd as well.
Yeah. There you go. 6 charisma.
I hooked up.
How did you manage that one?
Well, then I decided he was a half orc who saw a bard playing at a bar, and he's like, "Oh, I could do that," and he can't.
Oh,
he can't.
So that's kind of my dwarf got inspired by an elf that came through his.
We're the Milli Vanilli. We're the Milli Vanilli of D&D.
Well, no, I really
can just
sing.
Lip sync our way through.
I really sing, and when we're role playing, I really sing.
Yeah.
So my partner is a gnome who is a bard as well, and we call ourselves. Wait for it, the half notes.
Oh God! All right, that's really good. That's good.
We make up songs on the spot, man. We entertain. I bring
this is awesome.
He brings his guitar, and they do get extra experience points for actually performing for the group.
We play.
Nice.
We play every week in the local tavern in Veston City. Like, it's a great time.
You guys playing gigs. You're taking this like the next campaign is you guys trying to get a tour gig going.
It's to the extreme.
He doesn't know, but that's kind of.
They just in game. They just purchased a wagon for an adventure they're going on, and when they're done, they're going to use it as a tour bus. That's their plan.
Nice. You guys going to get roadie NPCs like some goblins?
I don't give them any ideas, man. Come on.
That's awesome.
I'm just as like.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just say my last character that I had who died by the hand of mob justice was named Jim Jones. And he was a human cleric preaching the word of Jesus.
That's
And
not
Something
I would have gotten away with it.
about that. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
started like building. I had a goblin follower as my first follower, and I had who
Drink this
when I was
grog.
Yeah, things didn't end well.
yeah right. But I was doing like a sermon, and then someone called me out for being like lying about the God that I was talking about. So I pretended like I was gonna pray for him, and I did inflict wounds on him in the middle of the street, trying to act like, oh, my God is vengeful. It didn't work. I got stoned to death.
That's wow. Well, rest in peace, Jim. That's
So
yeah, R.I.P.
Penelope and her sister are fantastic DMs, and they really go overboard with like not just passing us notes, but like there's an overarching story that they wrote, and to the extent where Penelope will make notes that come to us that like have a scent sometimes.
I'm really into prop making.
Yeah, the
It's
props
like
are
the
really
nice.
immersive and stuff. Like, if they find an old diary, I produce the old diary, that kind of thing. And it really gets everybody really into the game. Your imagination is one thing, and there's so many cool digital things you can use now, all kinds of online stuff. But I still like feeling and touching and smelling stuff.
Shout out to my partner in the Half Notes, Newton.
Yeah.
I hope you're watching, George.
There you go.
My all-time favorite character that I ever played was a half-elf druid, and she still pops up now and then as a NPC in my games. She never really goes away. She's always here somewhere.
Nice. Was that one of your first characters that you made, back in the day?
Yeah, she was one of the first handful. I probably made her when I was like 11 or 12. And I've played her. We tend to play when I was a kid, we tended to play one shots a lot, but I would reuse my characters. So like I played her at level 4, level 10, level 12, level 15, God level. I've played her at
nice.
level, so she's always just been around.
I'm married to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just an extension of Penelope.
Really
totally.
is.
Really.
It's one of the reasons we got married where we got married.
Nerd.
Where you guys get married? Where do you guys get married again?
You brought it up.
We got married inside of Stonehenge.
Oh, okay.
When you say it like that, it sounds crazy.
On May 1st, our anniversary is actually coming up. May 1st at sunset.
Oh, happy early anniversary!
Thank you, Stonehenge on Beltane.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting druidic experience getting married inside Stonehenge.
We were all naked.
No, we were not. No.
There you go.
No, we were not.
Don't give out too much details, right? But it's kind of going back to the toys and the nostalgia stuff.
Yeah, back to that.
Well, I'll bring it back around. We have people that like D&D, and I am a big D&D fan, so I try to bring that to the webcast as much as I can. We'd actually interviewed, if you guys look back, a couple episodes ago, like 4 or 5 episodes ago, we had Modest Brewing on. It was a local brewery in Minnesota, and they did a D&D inspired beer where each can had like a character on it.
I saw you post that. Yeah, that's very
awesome.
cool.
And
very cool.
Yeah. But what do you guys think of the new Ghostbuster movie? It got pushed back, but from what the previews were, and then the new toys, like I'm loving the new toys.
The previews
that are going to be coming out.
I actually legit got the chills at one point during one of the previews. It certainly looks better than the last Ghostbusters film, which I was not a fan of. I wish I genuinely wish I could have liked it, but I have to be honest, it's the only movie I've ever fallen asleep while watching. It was bad. I couldn't. It looks way better than that. Way better.
So the only thing I have to go on is the trailer as far as the movie goes. The tone looks great. It looks like Finn Wolfhard is just going to be in every throwback 80s thing.
I'm okay with that. He has the
That's his niche.
It is his niche, right?
Yeah.
So far it looks cool. I mean, I have no problem with the casting. The vibe of the trailer is amazing. So I reserve judgment until I see something. As far back as Michael Keaton is Batman or Heath Ledger is the Joker, people would always make these assumptions, and both of those are iconic now. So until I see it, I can't crap on it.
Yeah.
I had to wait until after I saw Jared Leto as the Joker to say Jared Leto sucked as the Joker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't.
But
I'm excited. The toys,
Yeah.
I love the I think NECA, if I'm right, is doing a new line of the toys. Is that who
I
has the
think so.
license?
Yeah.
So
I think
like
NECA and then Hasbro.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the redos of the old Kenners though, because I'm not a fan of using old molds. G1 Transformers, for instance, have stepped on the G1 molds so many times that it really took value away from the collectors who people collect the originals. So Walmart every year has a new version of Soundwave, which is just the original Soundwave, and it's cool to get it in people's collectors' hands, but they should be doing something different with it a little bit. Turtles did it. He-Man's going to do it with a little extra articulation.
Star Wars.
What they're seeing is the secondary market of what we do.
Yeah.
There's money there.
Yes.
They see that there's collectors and money there, so the big companies are just like, I want some of that money, where they really don't care.
And in some cases, it gets difficult for collectors and folks like us too. Like some of the turtle weapons, they're exactly the same molds as the originals. So collectors don't know if what they're buying is really vintage or not. Thankfully, we know enough that we can kind of tell the difference. But some regular folks don't know the difference, and it's really hard to discern it. So
somebody could take a bunch out of the box or out off the packaging and be like, oh, these are original 80s.
Yeah. The Star Wars stuff that they're doing, the retro, luckily they're just a little bit different. They're slightly larger in size. They're using different plastics intentionally, different colors. So it's good that they're doing that. But like Playmates and the Turtles, they didn't do that. They're the same exact toys.
You really got to know what you're doing. So unfortunately, we know, or we can use the internet to find out. But people who bring us stuff, sometimes they're not being on the up and up, but sometimes they honestly think what they have is a G1 Optimus Prime when it's a 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. You know what I mean? And I have to feel like I'm letting them down in a way. Like, oh, I'm sorry, this isn't really the one from the 80s. It sucks sometimes. And sometimes I feel like they think I'm being dishonest when I'm not. They're like, no, this is from the 80s. I saw it on eBay. It's $500.
Oh God. Yeah.
But in general,
they could have just used 80s pictures.
In general, the whole resurgence of retro stuff is cool.
Yeah.
It makes what we do more people interested in what we're doing.
Yeah, you can go into Target and in the toy aisle on Target and see vintage My Little Ponies now. Yeah. Like, nostalgia is such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
There are people who never thought they were going to be collectors that are seeing that stuff, and it's always good for us because it brings people to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. But the Kenner, I just like to be able to have a Minar card display for the old Kenner molds. But other than that, I'm like, I like that they're bringing back like the Proton Pack and stuff like that. But still, it's like, I have my original Proton Pack. It's like, just give us something new. Give us like an actual affordable version of the movie Proton Packs.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
like for cosplay. Yeah, that would be super cool.
Yeah, Spirit Halloween did a pretty nice one, but still pricey.
To this day, my little brother.
But they're starting to do the PKE and the Trap for like $20 at Walmart. I think that's the new line. Like they're starting to make it movie prop wise, not the cartoon.
Wow, that's cool. A whole new generation of kids going out there. Because my little brother grew up on it. It was his favorite thing. I just remember him running around the yard with his little Proton Pack, and he had the zip up jumpsuit and stuff.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yep.
Great memories.
Yeah, I still have mine, and I still have most of my toys, like my figures and stuff, I gave them to my nephew, and he's kind of moved on to Marvel and stuff like DC. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to come back and take those back and keep them for my collection.
He had his fun with them. We'll reclaim those.
You had your chance.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that was a cool thing.
Like you had your chance to be a collector.
Yeah, and it's a cool thing that you.
But yeah, he's big into Legos.
He'll have nostalgic memories of them, but if he's not into them now, go grab them.
And that's the whole thing. Some people bring us stuff to buy, and it's been played with. It's worn. It's maybe not complete, and they apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry that this is beat up. No, don't apologize. You played with your toys. You loved your toys. You gave them to your nephew who loved them. That's what toys were for. So
I feel bad. Like when people come in with their toys and they're like mint from their childhood, I think to myself, man, did your parents?
You didn't have a childhood,
your shoulder and like make sure. Now, Johnny, don't play too hard with that. Put the toys back. And like you didn't get to enjoy your toys. We way more dig when somebody comes in with a used collection, because we know that you were outside enjoying your toys, and maybe they're not worth as much, but it's not always about value. If you thought about value with your toys when you were a kid, you would have never played with your toys.
Yeah, exactly. And I was a psycho though with my Legos. Like whenever I'd play with them, they'd fall apart. So I'd made my mom hot glue. I'd build them, and then my mom and I would rebuild them and hot glue gun it together because I was like, I need to play with these. Yeah. And my nephew found that out after he got big in the Legos and watched the Lego movie, and he looked at me like I was the bad guy. I was like, look, I just wanted to play with them without them falling apart. Like I'm not the evil villain from the movie.
What did they call the glue in the movie?
The Craggle.
The Craggle.
Because it was crazy glue.
Yeah, the Craggle. That's what she kept.
No crazy glue on Legos. No.
Oh God.
Hot glue comes off.
Yeah, hot glue will pop right off. We learned that when we
hot glue will come off. Yeah.
It'll pop right off of plastic, so you're good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. They all look fine because then, like, as I got to high school, I'd like take them apart, and now I'm regretting taking them apart because I'm like, oh, I had that pirate ship, and it's like it would be cool, my and all the moon bases and stuff.
Oh, that's cool stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But all right, so where can we find you on social medias?
Oh gosh, so we are Farpoint Toys, all one word, all lowercase, 2 T's in the middle. Farpoint Toys, at Farpoint Toys on literally every
platform. That's us.
Facebook, Instagram,
Okay.
Twitter, eBay,
Etsy.
That's
Etsy.
Smart. You guys kept it cross-branded.
Oh,
That's good.
Speaking of Etsy, we have our quarantine shirts.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we made these. This is legitimate Farpoint merch here. We have farpointtoys.com/merch. You guys can get your quarantine gear, your Tiger King, He-Man crossover.
Can you name all these figures?
Oh gosh,
Brandon?
I can't even name them all.
No, I was not a big He-Man guy. I had 2 He-Man toys, and they were like that really weird space He-Man, and then I had the sword. That's the only things I had.
2000X.
I know the skunk guy, but
yeah,
Stinkor. Yeah,
he still smells.
So this is like the guys we thought would be like, they have gas masks.
Your beard is there, so you can't see.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah.
Got
Nice.
Stinkor,
airtight, and one of the Toxic Crusaders.
Being closed for business here, unfortunately, we're just trying to try different things to keep a little bit of a revenue stream coming in. And every T-shirt that you guys buy from us, keeps
water in my jug,
groceries in our fridge.
Yeah.
So every little bit helps. And
we have literally been buying our groceries with T-shirt sales, which has been fantastic.
There you go. Nice. So everyone buy some T-shirts, buy some hats. Got that cool Farpoint pin.
The cool Farpoint what?
The little pin that you guys have. I think it's on your Etsy shop.
Oh yeah, with the F. Yeah.
Hats, mugs, all
Paul
kinds
Brown. That logo with just the F is Paul Brown from Comic Trip's brainchild. He said, "You guys need a very simple thing that you could just throw on things."
Icons are the.
He kind of has an eye for that kind of stuff.
He does. Yeah. Paul has been a great, a family member here with what we're doing in the store. He's inspired so much, and he's always so excited when we're doing things. And I wish he could be here more. Haven't seen him since the quarantine. Like we text each other, but I miss my Pooh Bear.
He filmed our piece.
He did film the piece we're doing for the Nacelle company.
Yeah, the folks who do the toys that made us and the movies that made us on Netflix are doing a new docu-series about vintage toy stores around the country. And they asked us to participate, and Paul actually came in right before this whole quarantine thing started.
Shot it for us.
So that was.
I sent them numerous emails when the first season came out. I'm like, you need to start looking at the communities, like not just the toys.
Yeah, they're more collector oriented, and they have like their experts. Mark Belomo.
Yeah, they talking about just the stuff, which is it's great for us to watch the minutia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then they, as soon as they I think they asked personally 10 stores.
Yeah.
And I think we were one of those stores.
Yeah.
And then after they announced that they were going to do it, after those 10 stores, and they announced those 10 stores, the floodgates opened, and every store was like, I want to be part. So I think they're doing like 40 stores or something, which is super cool.
Yeah. And they opened it up worldwide.
Nice.
So.
That's
God
awesome.
knows why they asked us into one of those 10 stores. I don't know. I don't think we deserve to be in the top 10 stores or whatever, but
he's being modest.
Here, wait 1 second.
He's leaving.
Uh-oh.
Right
Just us again.
He's got to go to the bathroom. Hi, guys.
So yeah, what I'm gonna plug us while we're sitting here.
So, sorry about that. Yeah.
Good.
So since you're an old school DM, and I assume you do all your maps by hand,
I do.
or no, or do you just?
I do tend to draw
this. I got this at GaryCon this year. I ordered it. Send it your way. I have 2, so GaryCon Adventures Quill.
So cool.
Dungeoneer's Adventure Quill.
That's awesome.
And it has a little a ruler on it, so you can like use it to draw out lines, and it has a little level, so you know you got it right.
Gosh,
You just made her day.
cool.
What do you got for me?
Oh, stop! Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
Helps me out.
You'll
Last
see.
GaryCon, Brandon picked me up a set of exclusive dice that were modeled on the original dice that came in the original box set.
In the brown box?
No, and not in the white box. In the
white box,
the original colored, type box.
I thought the original box was a brown wooden box.
The original one was a wooden box.
Yeah, but that's like
But when they started doing
$50,000.
the purple and the blue, I think, and the was it
white
yellow
box.
or gold?
I have a white box. I have the Moldve. I have I have the Holmes. I've got all the original. I have one of each of all the original sets.
I like D&D, but I don't.
Yeah. But all right, thanks.
That's super cool, man.
Thanks for coming on, and thanks for being open with. You guys have been really awesome.
No, thank you.
We had a lot of fun.
So.
I'm glad you asked us.
Yeah.
Let's do it again sometime.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, definitely.
Stay safe.
All right, guys.
Yes, please.
Yep. Stay safe. Stay home if you can.
You too.
All
right, guys. See ya.
Bye, guys.
See ya.